This is Clubhouse Black Media. If you're new to the channel, spam the subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. This is an exclusive video with Offset explaining why he wants to get off his label. And let's get into the video.
I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Make sure these kids ball when I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? I work hard, so they deserve the ball. Then it's like, all this like, it ain't my flavor, it ain't my taste. I'm back and forth and like subbing. I'm a grown man with kids, I'm a boss. I don't believe in that, the social media and like doing comments and going back and forth, man. I'm grown, man. I'm a boss. I ain't on that, I ain't never been on that my whole career. You ain't never seen me going up, just trying to be on some messy girl shit. That be for the girls. Like, I'm a player, I ain't going that way. And like, I'm gonna get my business together regardless. I'm gonna get my business together. I'm gonna make sure I'm an owner. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going back and forth, man. I'm grown as hell, man. I ain't finna do that with you. It seems like niggas a little mad today though. They don't never want a nigga to grow and ball, man.
Yeah. Hey, baby. Yep. You see what they say on the back? Read what they say on the back.
Show must go on. Show must go on.
Check it out now. Holy. Now, people, the group that we thought would never separate, okay, the Migos, okay, the three goons from Gwinnett County, they're basically separated. Now, we thought that was the only problem. So basically, Offset's doing the solo thing. And then, obviously, Quavo and Takeoff, they're doing their duo thing. Now, really, there was rumors in the streets that basically there was a problem that came about that supposedly Offset piped out Sweetie or something like that. I know, it sounds wild, okay? This is why I didn't report it. But supposedly they said that Offset piped out Sweetie and Quavo was kind of like hurt, like, yo, you my brother, why would you do that? Also, we know Offset's married. Kind of messy, right? However, here's the thing, right? Basically, we're getting to find out that, number one, that might not even be true, right? But number two, it's bigger than just Offset and Quavo and Takeoff. It's basically Offset and QC. Now, I got to go back to some other rumors that we've heard before. Now, we also heard that Offset was into it with Lil Baby, who's obviously the new cash cow of QC. There was some other rumors that I never really talked about, but I'll talk about it now. There was some rumors that basically that like Offset got into it with like the 4PF dudes and basically, listen, P saved him from like either ass whipping or they were trying to strip him naked, all type of crazy Atlanta fuckery, okay? Now, here's the thing, because it looks like everything might be in play because Offset randomly filed a lawsuit where he's basically suing QC to say, QC, y'all can't get none of the money that's going to come in from my solo career. Now, here, let me give a real quick breakdown on how stuff is usually done when it comes to label deals, okay, or record deals. Now, Migos is signed as a group, okay? Now, if QC was smart, they would sign them not only as a group, but them individually. But a lot of times, if people sign as a group, they usually, at least down the line in their career, would make sure they have their solo rights to do music on their own that wouldn't be in that particular contract, okay? Now, clearly, Offset don't really rock with QC like that because, you know, he filed a lawsuit. By the way, it's the second lawsuit coming from, quote-unquote, the Migos to QC. But basically, he filed a lawsuit says, y'all can't profit off my solo career. Now, P actually addressed this on Twitter when he said the last lawsuit was filed publicly and dismissed quietly. Let's see how this one go. Been too real for all this lame-ish. Everyone know the real problem. Now, Offset quote tweeted that and said, yo, niggas act like I'm the problem. I paid millions to get my rights back. Nigga, you blackballed me. And I ain't said shit one time, homie. I ain't spoke to you in 2 years. Now I drop and you want your name on my credit. Now, I got to give a little context to this. I got to salute to P. Yo, P has ran a ship that's pretty much turbulent with a bunch of holes in it in terms of some of these guys don't get along. Like if Offset and Lil Baby don't get along, I've watched out my own eyes standing right next to P when everybody thought that Offset and Baby are beefing. They literally performed back to back. Okay, like back to back, no issues. So basically what I'm trying to say is that P has done a pretty good job of kind of containing everything and being an executive, not kind of trying to choose sides, even though clearly Baby's a hotter artist, but trying to make sure everybody gets along. We've seen in many different cases where people just didn't really allow that to happen. For example, like 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd were on the same label. Their label executive couldn't control them. They beefed till basically one went to jail. Okay? Now, after Offset said that, right? And this is the first time he's really publicly addressed it. We also had his wife, Cardi B, who basically kind of, she was getting dragged into it because the rumor about the Sweetie thing now became a little bit more public. Again, people have been talking about that. They're saying it's not true. Anyway, Cardi said Offset bought himself out of his QC deal after they didn't want to renegotiate his contract. And she says, I'm tired of people trying to make Offset look like the bad guy. Enough is enough. Okay? Now, what do I think is happening here? I think we're just having literally a difference of opinion in where these artists want to go. I think Offset probably feels a certain type of way in terms of he feels the label, and the label is P, is probably picking the hotter artist at the time, which is now Lil Baby. It probably doesn't look too good for him when they're picking the person who you probably have personal feuds with. And also, he's probably realizing that, hey, he's maybe out on an island if these other dudes don't seem to be rocking with him. Now, again, I don't know where Quavo and Takeoff stand on all this, but apparently they don't have a problem with QC like Offset does, okay? So Offset's decided to go solo. Now, when you go solo, now you're beefing with your label, because I can imagine that he's saying he bought himself out of contract, but clearly something is up in the air because they're still demanding credit and compensation for your new work, okay? So you bought yourself out of your rights, but what rights? Is it your solo rights? Is it the group rights? Because that would be an overall thing. And we do know that, Quavo and Takeoff aren't saying they aren't on QC. And also, if this has been going over 2 years and you haven't talked to the person who's been putting out your music, of course you're going to think you're blackballed. Because now if you're not talking to the person who's responsible for your budget and everything else to make your music go, of course you're not going to think your music is going to the full potential. You're beefing with the guy who's responsible for promoting and allocating budgets to get your music lit, okay? Very messy situation over QC. I'm going to be honest, though. As long as P got Lil Baby, I think he's going to have a lot of leverage in any negotiation with any other artist, because here's the thing. He only really got to keep one person happy at this point. Now, granted, people might look at P and be like, yo, the Migos built QC, but in reality, right now, his golden goose is Lil Baby. And if Offset's the person who's saying, nah, man, I'm unhappy, I want to go, or this and third, I think P's down to say, hey, I'll fight it out in court with you, or I'll slow your career up, or I just won't respond to you and you'll be on the shelf. Everybody think you're getting cold while we're pumping out Lil Baby songs left and right. There was a time like a year and a half ago, actually 2 years exactly about, right? I remember saying, yo, why does it seem like Lil Baby's dropping back to 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 back, and we're never seen any releases from the Migos? It basically tells us there was definitely problems contractually and also problems within the system of QC. Anyways, what do you guys believe? Who do you pick? Which side do you pick? It's hard to say who's a good guy, the bad guy. They probably just have a difference of opinion, but it's always not good when the family feuds. We haven't heard Offset say anything about his brothers, which is, Quavo and Takeoff, but I think we might hear something about that at a later point. But don't be surprised if we don't, because, obviously, they're going to all have to come back together for some stuff, eventually in the future. It's the Migos. Come on, man. They're legendary, right? Anyway, get in the comments. Make sure you guys like them, subscribe to Akademiks. Good thing the Migos